Yes, what is going on, people? It's your boy AntoDaBoss here, and here is the new series that I was talking about, the franchise mode in Madden 13. Now, you guys are wondering, what team will he choose? Well, if you guys saw my thumbnail, you guys probably have a clue of who I'm going to be choosing, but if you guys have no clue, here is the team that we'll be working with. Yes, we are doing this connected career, aka franchise mode with the Washington Redskins. Now, a lot of people, when they found out this is my favorite team, they're like, hold up, you are on the bandwagon, which seat were you on? They threw all this stuff at me, but I'm actually in Maryland. I live in Washington. I've been a Washington Redskins fan since I was little. So, just because of RG3, I didn't hop on it. I'm just grateful for RG3, you know. It feels good that we're finally winning, but even when we were losing, I was still sticking with the team, still wearing the jersey to school. So, one of the first things that obviously you're going to look at is the career progress. Now, my career goal is obviously to make the playoffs. Now, this is any coach's goal. You know, any coach is expected to make it to the playoffs, so that's all we have to do. So, one of the first things that you have to do is go to the checklist and obviously kick off your career. Now, once you get to kick off your career, you can finally do one of the favorite things of all time in franchise, which is sign players. Now, the first player that we are going to be signing is Tim Hightower. Now, Tim Hightower used to be with the Redskins, played most of his career with the Cardinals, and this guy, he was cut from the Redskins. So I was like, why not? Let's bring him back. We're gonna need a backup for Alfred Morris. Yes, there's Roy Halou, but why not add a guy with 1.15 mil? This is too cheap. So let's give him a one-year contract. Now, a lot of more players are going to be coming into the mix. I'm going to be signing a lot of players, starting off with Lee Evans and then Chad Ochocinco. Everybody deserves a second chance, and I feel like this guy, he's waiting for that chance just to explode. Now, everything has been taken away from him, so why not? Let's give him this contract, and maybe he has a lot to prove, and he'll prove it with us, so it might be a good move. Now, a lot of these signings that I'm doing, like you see here, Castillo, he'll be great for my team, right? He's a right end, 29 years old, 86 overall. This is only a preseason overall, so he might be a good addition to the team, but a lot of these signings that I'm doing, I'm just filling up the cap space so that I can use these players for trade. A perfect example of that is going to be E.J. Henderson. I already have, Fletcher at middle linebacker, so E.J. Henderson, pretty good value player. We can use him as a trade. Now, last but not least, the player that I'm going to be signing is Bob Sanders. A lot of injuries in his career, so he's also one of those guys that are looking to make a redemption. So here is one of the biggest trades that I decided to do. E.J. Henderson, Luis Castillo, both of the guys that I got from the free agency for two key players that might be vital to my team. Now, a lot of you are like, okay, you're going to need secondary because the Washington Redskins are struggling on defense. But these guys on offense, they're going to help out RG3 big time. This guy right here, a key player on the receiving core, Dez Bryant, is going to be big for us. So I'm pretty excited. Now, one of the last members that I will be signing, he's actually one of the last two players that I signed, was Nick Collins. I mean, again, our free safety position, we have Williams, that's not going to cut it. So adding Nick Collins, a veteran in the locker room, is going to be huge. Now, last but not least, I let go of Rex Grossman, and I had about over $1 million cap space left. So just for the preseason, you're going to want to have a lot of quarterbacks on your depth chart. A lot of the positions need to be filled out because you're going to have to rotate players and make sure everybody gets playing time. So Jacoby Harris, you're going to come into camp and prove to me why I should keep you on my team. So here's pretty much the depth chart. You got Robert Griffin backed up by Kirk Collins. Now, obviously, another member to the quarterback core is going to be Jacoby Harris. Here are my running backs just stacked. You got Hightower, Felix Jones, and Alfred Morris. Not to mention Daryl Young, a fine young halfback who's should I say fullback? He's going to be huge too. One of the best blockers in the NFL these days. Now, wide receivers, we're stacked as well. We got Garcon, Moss, Chad Johnson, Morgan, Dez Bryant, Leonard Hankerson, and also Briscoe. I mean, these guys are all young, I'm excited to see. It's going to be kind of sad to cut some of these because we can't keep 20 receivers. You know, it's going to be ridiculous. Now, as far as my free safety goes, like I said, with Williams, he might be decent, but we just can't cut it with just him. So I went out and got a younger Nick Collins, a veteran as well. You know, he had all those young days in Green Bay, so it's pretty good to have a free safety like him. And strong safety, we got some competition. You got Dowdy, Merriweather. Hopefully they stay healthy, and then also Bob Sanders. So our first game in the preseason is going to be against the Buffalo Bills.
Here we are at Ralph Wilson Stadium for this preseason matchup between the Redskins and the Bills. Hello friends, Jim Nance along with Phil Simms getting set for kickoff and a big primetime game headed your way. The lights are on, the excitement's building, Phil.
Yeah, it really is. And I tell you what it does to players, Jim. They sit around all day long, and the tensions build up, the excitement gets there. They come out in the field. They know it's a different game because everybody's going to be home watching them. And believe me when I tell you, players like that.
We got a crossover conference game about to kick off here.
So here's our first possession of the game. Now, these are the first stringers. Robert Griffin is going to hand it off to Alfred Morris. Nowhere to go on that play. So we try again. Alfred Morris, nowhere to go once again. So Robert Griffin this time is going to step back and finally throw it in the air. And first coincidence, look at this. First pass ever is to Chad Johnson. I'm going to go deep once again. The ball was deflected by the cornerback, but Des Bryant was right there. He breaks a tackle. He's just determined to go in for that touchdown. So the Buffalo Bills take over. Here comes Fitzpatrick. And his second play of the game is a completion. But then this is where they had a little trouble. Our defense came up big. Riley, who was a backup, we actually gave him a start in this one, was huge. I mean, he got all these sacks, all these tackles, and we're able to stop the Buffalo Bills on their first drive. Now, we take over in the first quarter still. Robert Griffin is going to step back, and he's going to rush this one and get stopped about the 33-yard line. Now, we couldn't really do anything. 4th and 8, we decided to go ahead and kick this field goal with Billy Cundiff. Yes, Billy Cundiff. I couldn't find Fort Beth, so we're gonna stick with Billy Cundiff for now. So it's 10-0, just like that. And with a minute remaining in the second quarter, Kirk Collins is gonna get something going here. A completion to Josh Morgan, and we're gonna be stopped at the 22. Now we're at the 17-yard line. He's going deep. Chad Johnson. It was right in his hands, but he couldn't hold on. So one more try right here, Kirk Collins. And that is going to be a problem this year. His accuracy was not there. So we're going to settle with another field goal. And just like that, it is 13-0. But finally, the Buffalo Bills, they got something going here. So a completion right there to Smith. He's going to be stopped at the 41. So finally, they have offensive flow going. The game is almost freezing up. But here comes Nelson. He completes this one. Look at him. Just doesn't want to go down. So another first down right there for Tavares Jackson. And then here comes CJ Spiller, breaking all these tackles. He's going to be stopped at the 16. Here comes Spiller once again. And he is stopped short on 3rd down. So they're forced to kick a field goal. So they make it a 10-point game, but it is late in the 3rd quarter. So they might not have a lot of time in their hands. So we have 4 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Here comes Ja'Cory Harris. First time he ever gets a look. He comes out on 4th down and gets a first down. But then we're faced with 4th and 5 once again. Ja'Cory Harris. The ball is deflected out of the receiver's hand. And Ja'Cory Harris, unfortunately, goes down on an injury right there. So here comes the Bills. Right out of the receiver's hands into Riley's hand. Like I said, Riley, he was a backup. He came out and replaced Orakpo in this one, and he actually dominated. And then here comes Chad Johnson, proving why he deserves a second chance. So that was pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. In the next one, we'll cover week 2 and 3 of the preseason. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's your boy AntoDaBoss here, and I am signing out.
Here today in this game, but when you win and then you sit back and think everybody was watching us and you played well, boy, that is some great experience.
If you guys want to stay updated on when all of my videos will be uploaded, make sure you follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/AntoDaBoss.